afternoon and thank you for keeping it your home of Untold Stories TV 47. This is News Now, which starts right now with the highlights. Kenya joins the world in marking World AIDS Day under the theme Let Communities Lead. Calls for public engagements in a bid to force the government to listen to the cries of Kenyans over the high cost of living continues to grow louder.
Imebaki moja muhimu zaidi, gharama ya maisha kwa wananchi.
And junior secondary school teachers issue new demands, want their salaries increased.
The stipend that we are being given is too little to sustain us in this economy.
Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Grace Kuria Kanja. Now, Kenya today joined the world in marking World AIDS Day under the theme Let Communities Lead, with Meru County hosting this year's celebrations. World AIDS Day serves as a poignant moment to reflect on the ongoing global effort to combat the stigma associated with HIV, a time to honor those who have succumbed to the epidemic, and a call to unite in the commitment towards a future where HIV no longer poses a significant public health threat.
With the instructions of the President himself, we have ensured that we deliver universal health coverage. And under universal health coverage, we are not leaving anyone behind. I have had many people criticize our plan. Many people criticizing even the laws that are now in place, the acts. I want to be categorical. In the Social Health Authority, we have no limitations, we have no exclusions. Whether a child is born with a congenital disease, they will be covered under the Social Health Authority. And you know, as we celebrate, at times people do not know exactly what it is that we are celebrating. In Kenya, we have over 1.4 million who are living with HIV. But the good story about it is that out of this, close to 96% are on treatment. And that is how we are managing to ensure that this does not spread further. HIV/AIDS haijiandiki kwa sura ya mtu. We all look alike. And that is the stigma that we must break.
Indeed, that is the stigma we must break. Let's move on. And President William Ruto has advocated for robust partnerships to position Kenya and Africa as significant centers for green manufacturing. Now, during his address at the COP28 conference today, President Ruto conveyed Africa's position on climate change as outlined in the Nairobi Declaration resulting from the Africa Climate Summit. In response, COP28 President Dr. Sultan Al Jaber commended President Ruto's initiation of the Africa Climate Summit, describing it as an unparalleled demonstration of climate leadership.
Just the first 10 months of this year, we experienced 86 days where temperatures soared over 1.5 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels. Adding to this worrying scenario is the fact that global greenhouse gas emissions have not decreased, but rather increased by a deeply worrying 1.2% between 2021 and 2022, culminating in a staggering 57.4 gigatons of CO2 equivalent, a record high that underscores the magnitude of the climate crisis we face. We must add that all the increases were experienced in the G20 countries, and many of them are here and they are listening. This crisis must never be seen as a distant threat. It is here now, indiscriminately devastating nations regardless of their size or wealth, thereby reshaping our world in a profound, unprecedented, and highly complicated ways. A stark illustration of this disastrous turn of events is currently unfolding in Eastern Africa, where catastrophic flooding has swiftly followed the most severe drought the region has seen in over 40 years. Scientific evidence clearly and strongly links these extreme weather events to human-induced.
Now moving on, and UDA Party Secretary General Cleophas Malala has dismissed Azimio's call for a referendum, terming it a waste of time. Malala spoke early this afternoon at the party headquarters after a meeting with China's Communist Party officials. He said a referendum is not a priority at the moment for the ruling UDA party, as the government's entry is full.
Not to be overemphasized that the idea the opposition is coming up with of us going into a referendum, I think can be summarized to a person who is living in utopia. A person who is at, we call it cloud 9. A person who is dreaming. A person who is fantasizing. At the moment, under the leadership of this country is keen to ensure that we have economic revolution in this country. We are keen in delivering our 172 promises that we gave Kenyans. Among them, the Hustlers Fund. Yesterday we were celebrating 1 year of existence since we launched the Hustler Fund. We have been able to roll out programs that we promised Kenyans. The Universal Healthcare Program. You know, all the community health promoters are now well equipped and are earning a stipend from the government. We have been able to concentrate and deliver subsidized fertilizer to all the registered farmers on our digital platform. And therefore our focus as a party and as a government is to ensure that we deliver on the mandate of the people of Kenya, the mandate of the people. And we are saying that we shall not be deterred. We shall not be confused by the BBI stories. So we want to ask our political opponents to shun away from imagining that we can go for a referendum right now. We are not going for any referendum. We are focused to ensure we deliver the mandates the people of Kenya bestowed upon us. Thank you.
Now, controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie, known for his controversial views, has been sentenced to 12 months in jail for operating a filming studio and producing films without a valid license. Now, in addition, Malindi Senior Resident Magistrate Olga Onalo imposed another 6 months of imprisonment for Mackenzie's possession and exhibition of films to the public through Times TV without the required operating license. The sentences will run concurrently. Now, the decision to deny him an alternative fine was based on the recommendation of the probation office. Mackenzie's offences carry a maximum jail term of 1 year and an alternative fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings.
Which had not been classified by the Kenya Classification Board, contrary to Section 12 of the Films and Stage Plays Act, Cap 222 laws of Kenya, and for operating a film studio and producing films without valid filming license from the Kenya Films Classification Board, contrary to Section 4 of the Films and Stage Plays Act. Section 32 of the Films and Stage Plays Act, Cap 222 laws of Kenya, provides that any person who is guilty of an offense under this act shall be liable to a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years or to both such fine and imprisonment. In light of the foregoing, in respect to count 2, I hereby sentence the accused person to 12 months imprisonment, while in respect to count 3, the accused person's explanation of not knowing the need for a license from the Film Classification Board having obtained a broadcasting one, is a reasonable, though not entirely acceptable, as ignorance of the law is no defense, hence the resulting conviction. And in light of the same, I sentence the accused to 6 months imprisonment. The sentences shall run concurrently. Right of appeal, 14 days.
And the Azimio One Kenya leaders have threatened to go back to the streets, accusing members of Kenya Kwanza team of not being keen with the Agreement National Dialogue Committee. While speaking in Machakos during the burial ceremony of Phyllis Mawathe, mother to Embakasi South MP Julius Mawathe, the leaders said that the Kenya Kwanza regime is not ready to lower the cost of living, and so Kenyans should take action before it's too late. Azimio leader Raila Odinga, while responding to the call, said that Kenya Kwanza is sick but doesn't want treatment and that Kenyans will respond appropriately. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka on his part said they have achieved a bit of what was on the table, but the opponents in Kenya Kwanza were totally adamant on reviewing taxes.
Kalonzo wakaenda, simeongea na wao, wameongea, manake sisi tulikuwa na mambo yetu, wao walikuwa na mambo yao. Wameongea, hii tumepata, imebaki moja muhimu zaidi, gharama ya maisha kwa wananchi. Ndio tulisema vile vile tutatue. Wakakataa. Kata haiwezekani. Sasa Kalonzo akaniuliza, tufanye nini? Jamaa wamekataa hii. Nikamwambia Kalonzo, wewe wachana hao. Jamaa ni wagonjwa. Si wagonjwa. Unajaribu kumpatia dawa na hataki.
That is what he is trying to do. Mujiandhari wetu. Muzidanganywe leo, ifike 2025, 2026 warudi waambie mumeona uchumi, na udanganyifu ni ule. Sasa tutauziwa, hata tuuziwe mabibi zetu. Hatuwezi kukubali. Nani anaweza kuuza bibi yake? Hata Mawathe amekatalia na wake hapa.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, that is GOPET, has declared that its members will initiate a strike in January 2024 if their demand for permanent employment as junior secondary school teachers is not addressed. Speaking in Baringo County, GOPET Vice Chair Nicholas Korir expressed concern about the challenging working conditions that teachers have endured. He emphasized that they have been working for a year without a clear prospect of permanent employment. The union is now urging the Teachers Service Commission to provide clarity on the issue and facilitate the transfer of junior secondary school teachers to secondary schools due to inadequate facilities.
Because our contract states that we had an 11-month contract which was to end on 31st December 2023. That is 3 weeks away from now. But we got shocked when we heard from the Commission that it was planning to renew our contract. We are saying that we are not going to renew that contract. It is against the law. And the stipend that we are being given is too little to sustain us in this economy.
Na amesema 20 billion ilitolewa na hiyo pesa ni ya confirm interns wa JSS. Tafadhali Madam Catherine Mwambilianga, Mheshimiwa Mboko na NEB, pesa imetolewa 20 billion. Hatutaki kusikia hizi tukipiga makelele kwa TV na nyinyi mko wacha interns wapate job. Ama namna gani?
All right, we're due for a short commercial break here on News Now, but don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We're back with more.
Should not hold out opportunities.
Right, thank you so much for staying with us. Let's move on. And the Kenya Union of Special Needs Teachers and the Special Schools Heads Association of Kenya have stressed on the urgent need for improvement in special needs education to enhance the provision of services for students with disabilities. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
The Kenya Union of Special Needs Teachers and the Special School Heads Association of Kenya have jointly appealed to the government for a thorough reconsideration of the capitation funds allocated to learners.
Most of these learners come from very poor families. They may not be able to pay fees. And I want to request the government to consider funding the special schools with speed. They
argue that over an extended period, these funds have remained constant despite the evolving needs and challenges faced by students with special needs.
If you go around this country, the special schools, primary and secondary schools and vocational centers that we have for SNE have really gone down. You know, you find them, the painting has gone down, the buildings are almost falling.
James Terome, the Secretary General of SIGNET, says that the financial support for special needs students has not seen an increase since 2018, despite the impact of inflation and a rising number of learners with special needs.
The grants which is provided for our learner in primary school, that is 2,400. We are saying it's not enough. This is what was gazetted during the Minister for Education that time was Professor Kaimenyi, and things have changed completely the economic status in this country. So we are telling the government to move with speed and implement the task force report.
Terome underscored the urgent need for government intervention, emphasizing on the critically low teacher-to-student ratio in these schools.
The staffing for special needs in the whole country is wanting. By July next year, over 3,000 teachers for SNE are leaving the service, and no replacement is being done by the Teacher Service Commission. So we are asking again the government, the parliament, to allocate funds so that the Teacher Service Commission can be able to employ enough teachers for the SNE.
Referring to the Education Commission report of 2016, which estimates that nearly 65 million primary and secondary school-aged children have disabilities, the organizations say that a substantial portion of them are currently not enrolled in any educational institution. This situation underscores the pressing need for a re-evaluation of the funding structure to address the unique requirements of students with special needs and promote inclusive education. Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Thank you, Chichi Josephine, for that. Now, the county government of Kitui has commissioned the Mshali Cancer Center at the Kitui County Referral Hospital, the full-fledged cancer care facility with state-of-the-art diagnostic and treatment equipment was jointly implemented by Governor Dr. Julius Malombe's administration and the Catholic Medical Mission Board. The partners include Bristol Myers Squibb Foundation and the National Cancer Institute. Now, while delivering the governor's speech during the ceremony held at the hospital's grounds, Deputy Governor Augustine Kanani termed the cancer center as a symbol of the county government's dedication to the health and well-being of Kitui people.
3 years. We also partnered with the County First Spouses to provide Empower Clinics. And these Empower Clinics are special clinics in hospitals dedicated to cervical and breast cancer screening. And so far, we've been in 18 counties, and we are constantly screening and holding the hands of the cancer patients, navigating them through the cancer care system.
The center is going to serve the entire region. It's not just Kitui, but it's going to serve the entire region. The other day, they were commissioning a water project in Kisui South, which was going to impact more than 8,000 people along the way. And that's why I'm saying their projects, they're all having high impact to the people of Kitui.
Now, the Siaya County Security Team has successfully neutralized the activities of a terrorist cell involved in radicalization in parts of the Alego-Usonga constituency. Siaya County Commissioner Julius Otieno has assured the public that the security apparatus is vigilant and will remain on the ground for as long as necessary to ensure public safety. Otieno addressed the media after the security team held a meeting with Alego-Usonga Member of Parliament Samuel Atandi. The County Commissioner stated that his team has devised strategies to counter emerging challenges and affirmed to residents that security measures will be heightened to ensure they can enjoy the festive season without disruptions.
We've had a fruitful meeting with the area Member of Parliament plus the County Security Committee, and the team is right here. Our main concern was to focus on emerging security challenges in the county and specifically in the constituency where we are. The meeting has been so fruitful and we've come up with strategies to counter on those emerging challenges, and going forward, my assurance to the people is that security will be enhanced and we'll enjoy the festive season without any challenges. We know areas of concern which we are focusing on. I might not want to reveal that because that might compromise on our strategies, but my assurance is that we are on top of things.
The approaches that they have told me is going to work for our people. So what I want to tell our